we are out where the air is rare.
How can I help? Fine.
You want to talk? I'm thinking the sun is going down. I'm not sure what happened. A monk from the Psijic Order. Here after all these years, and then he just leaves. What you learn here will last you a lifetime. Several, if you're talented. Really? And what might that be? I'm sorry, what? Well, I'd certainly love to have such a powerful staff, but I'm not really sure that any of us need it. And how do you know of this? Did you really? And he specifically mentioned the staff of Magnus? I'm impressed with your initiative. Of course, someone will need to follow up on this. A most impressive attitude. Keep this up, and you'll do quite well for yourself. Something as specific and ancient as the Staff of Magnus. I'm not sure we'd ever find something like that. I seem to recall Mirabelle mentioning the staff somewhat recently. Why don't you see if she can tell you anything? I'm quite pleased with your progress, you know. You've certainly proven yourself to be more than a mere apprentice. Well done. This circlet once proved invaluable to me. I hope it can be of use to you now. Speak to me. You will make quite a name for yourself here. This place suits you.
How can I help? I approve of your choice of attire. Go ahead. Thistlefoot. He's an antelope. They're quite common in Greenshade. Horses are good mounts, but the terrain in Valenwood can be treacherous for uncertain hooves. Thistlefoot moves through thick forest easily. He's a little more skittish than your average horse, but I trust him with my life.
What's next?
Greetings. Oh, not much. Only that he was the architect of the mortal plane. Nothing special. When it was forming, and he and the other gods realized Lorcan had tricked them, he fled to Aetherius, tearing a hole in oblivion. Naturally, that hole became the sun. And because a bunch of other lesser gods followed him, they made holes of their own, the stars. Cosmic vandalism aside, it's rumored that Magicka is actually the remnants of his power. Oh, there have been staffs of Magnus kicking around since the Second Era, usually wielded by heroes saving the world. Whether they're all the same one is hard to say. In any case, they're extremely powerful, as you might guess. What's next?
Sometimes I can't help but think if the best I can do is to not disappoint. Hi there. Got any interesting stories from your travels? So far, if only because no one is telling me how great I ought to be. I just want to learn. I don't want to think about what's expected of me.
What are you up to, Game?
I know I don't like the way he looks at me. I can't tell if he expects me to blow myself up or to try and murder him. But he clearly doesn't trust any of us. Didn't you know? Before the Oblivion Crisis, many elves called Winterhold their home. More visited the college from Morrowind every year. After, growing distrust of magic made life difficult for many. Some left rather than endure the growing hatred from the local Nords. Others returned home after the Red Year, when Vardenfell erupted and caused much destruction. Winterhold itself died in the years between then and now. What's left out there is a husk. Only the college really remains.
Spinners,
Let me give you some
priests
room.
of Ifrei, are said to be able to change the past and predict the future. I wonder if my mother could do that.
Have you heard from your family recently?
No, not really. Couriers don't seem to like delivering letters here.
That's too bad.
Not at all. It means I'm not being hounded about my progress at the college. I must strive to be better. My family has a long-standing tradition of exceptional magic users, and they expect me to excel in my studies at the College of Winterhold. There's this constant pressure to live up to their legacy. But at least here, I can pretend that I am not expected to do anything except learn. Sometimes I daydream about that. Being free from their expectations, studying at my own pace, maybe even pursuing my passion for singing. But my family requires me to be a conjuration master like my father. I can't treat magic like a hobby, or it'll break their hearts. Easier said than done. If I am to be half as good as my father is, I must dedicate all of my time to my studies. Well, then I guess they'll make another heir. Many of my siblings were named heir before. Some were even old enough to be my grandparent, but none of them could match my father in magic. My father has been disappointed for so many times. I don't want to add to that list. For generations, we have produced exceptional spellcasters who have left their mark on history. Growing up, I was surrounded by stories of their incredible achievements. Their names are renowned among magical circles, and their expertise is highly respected in Morrowind. The weight of their expectations hangs heavy on my shoulders. I must strive to live up to their lofty standards. Honestly? Yeah. And I'm glad I came to Skyrim before my parents' expectations could erode my passion. Learning theories surely isn't as fun as conjuring Atronachs on the field, though. I'd better get going. Still no word from your family?
No, and I'm not expecting any.
Really? That must be so nice. I came all the way to Skyrim just to get away from my family's expectations.
My family didn't really approve of me coming here at all.
Oh, well that's awkward. Sorry to have brought it up. Your words are like magic to me.
Good to see you.
Please don't bother the Archmage unless it's absolutely necessary. If there are any problems, let me know. It's my job to keep things running smoothly. Well, now that's an odd question. Why in the world would you be asking? I see. Well, yes, I suppose I did mention it, though I'm not sure what he expects me to tell you. I only brought it to his attention a few months back when the Synod showed up here looking for it. They were apparently under the impression we were keeping it in a closet somewhere. Mages based out of Cyrodiil. They fancy themselves the imperial authority on magic these last few hundred years. My understanding is that all they really do is make noise in an attempt to curry favor from the Emperor. Lots of politics, little magic. I was quite surprised to find them on our doorstep. They seemed amiable enough, but their line of questioning made me uneasy. It became clear they're trying to hoard powerful artifacts, looking to consolidate power. No one here does. The Synod seemed convinced it was somewhere in Skyrim. They inquired about the ruins of Mzulft, but that's all I remember. It sounded like they were heading there, though they were rather secretive about why. I suppose if you're intent on looking for the staff, there's a chance they might be in Mzulft yet. Just don't expect them to be cooperative. I'm not really sure. Made and used by Magnus himself, if you believe those sorts of things. I believe I've heard it said that it's the only thing that could adequately contain his power. The sort of embellishment wizards of ancient times loved to make.
Of course. If anyone can find the Staff of Magnus, it's the Synod. How could they resist something so shiny?
Have you managed to track down the Synod or the Staff of Magnus?
Ori's awfully good with that bow of hers. Ah, the Synod. Magical magpies, essentially. They scavenge arcane artifacts wherever they can get them, hoarding them for, I assume, a rainy day. They're awfully protective of their stuff, I can tell you that. Sharing isn't really part of their philosophy. Anyhow, if they have the Staff of Magnus, or know where we can find it, they'll be very reluctant to tell us about it. Perhaps we can persuade them. I'll turn on my best charming face. Never fails.